Muy buenas, ¿cómo estáis? Venimos con otro capítulo de A Golpes. Hoy tenemos un invitado que ha pasado por un momento muy duro en su vida en los últimos meses y hemos podido hablar con él, así que no hemos querido perder esta oportunidad de tenerle con nosotros. Y es nada más y nada menos que Tom Hunting de Exodus. Tom, how are you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
Yeah, fine. Hi, Diego, how are you doing?
Hey, what's up?
Okay, so let's start. Well,
Let's
Tom,
nerd out on drums.
yeah. The first thing, how are you? Because you've
I'm
been dealing with a cancer, and we want to know how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm in a good place. I had surgery in July and they got it all. And now they're just kind of like watching me, to see to make sure that it doesn't come back, and they watch it very closely. So I'm lucky.
Well, that's fine. Diego?
And how has how has this experience affected you in terms of playing drums and
I had to build
playing drums
I had
in
to build
general?
some strength and stamina back up for sure. You know, they cut me open, so like my core was it's kind of hard to go around the drum set right away. But it's been 3 months now, so I really don't have any long-term problems in terms of like getting back behind the drums. I played a show a week and a half ago and it went good. It felt good to play again, and I think I'll be okay. I will survive with this.
So in the show you played, back to the stage, did you feel some different stuff when you were playing? Did you feel you were weak or something like that?
I felt rusty because like even all surgery and my health stuff aside, like I hadn't been on stage in 21 months or something like that. So, but the muscle memory came back. I rehearsed really hard for it. I would play drums for 2 hours a day, and our set was only like 40 minutes that day. So it was good. I was just getting warmed up by the time I got off stage. And no, it felt great.
And now
Okay, I was still hitting the snare like it owed me money,
Yeah. Go ahead, Diego.
And how'd you prepare for coming back after such a long time?
Basically, I would do 2-hour drum workouts. I have a house in the mountains. Me and my wife bought the house in 2018. It's where we recorded Persona non grata, actually. So I went up there and played drums 2 hours a day, workouts. I practiced mostly the longer Exodus songs, like Funeral Hymn and Sun is My Destroyer, anything that was over like 6 minutes, like back to back, I was playing that music. And, I had other days where I would just like, start out with like the Led Zeppelin workout, play some Physical Graffiti or something like that. And then just kind of built my strength back up from there. And, after doing 2-hour drum workouts in the high altitude, like playing a 40-minute set in the lower altitude was easy.
Oh, so the altitude is, do you feel the altitude when you're playing drums?
Not so much where we have a house, because like our house is like maybe almost 5,000 feet, which is 15,000 meters. And, other places I played like Bogota, and, Bogota is pretty high up there, elevation. I definitely feel it, the higher you go. But, I felt good rehearsing, and, I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, so that helps.
Yeah.
And do you rehearse only songs, or do you have any particular like endurance exercises or anything? I recently saw Mario Duplantier from Gojira. He was doing like 2 hour just double pedal workout stuff like that. Do you do stuff like that?
Not really, no, because we don't have any music that requires like super crazy BPMs like for double bass. I mean, I chop firewood with an axe basically and throw firewood around and just normal stuff. Nothing crazy. Maybe lift a few weights, do some push-ups, stretch. I like to stretch before I start playing and and pre-hydrate a little bit, but nothing crazy.
Yeah.
No double bass BPM madness.
And when did you start writing the drums for the new album? Because the last one was, if I'm not wrong, Blood In, Blood Out in 2014. And
Yeah.
When did you start writing the album? Before you moved to the new house, or now when you moved?
We had a little bit of stuff from like me and Gary were working together in 2017, 2018, and we kept like a tiny bit of what we were working on back then when he had a break from Slayer. And then this one we pretty much started in May of 2020, late May, early June. We started having what we call jam camps up in my house. And it went fast. Like we were super inspired, and I think Gary was happy to be back in the Exodus fold. So he was being super creative, and it came together pretty organic, pretty fast.
How has your writing process changed over the years?
It hasn't.
It hasn't.
It's the same thing. It always starts out with a guitar riff. And it always starts out guitar riff and drums together, then kind of like layering on top of that. It always starts out with drums and guitar though. And the guitar is the meat of the song. The drums are the bread that holds it all together. And that's never really changed. I think the only thing that's really changed is the places that we do it at. This time we did it at my house because we were in the middle of a pandemic and nobody wanted to do anything in the city and everything was shut down. So we worked within the boundaries of what we can control.
Yeah.
And that's how it came together.
And now Gary has a bigger break than before with the Slayer, because it seems it was the end of the band. Do you feel that Exodus has become, I don't know if become, but if Exodus now can grow even more than before?
I think so. I mean, at this point in my life, I take it one album at a time, but we're really proud of this one. We think that this one is kind of career defining record for us anyway. We feel confident about it and we're excited to go play that music live, and we'll grow it from there.
Yeah.
In what sense do you think it's career defining?
I just think that the music there's a lot of hooks in the music. There's a lot of diversity on the record. The tones are amazing. We took some chances with different time signatures, like on Lunatic Liar Lord. There's just, I don't know. I just feel like creatively we were on a roll with this one, and we had a lot of fun doing it. So, there's that too. I think the fact that we enjoyed doing it and having fun with it definitely shows in the finished product,
And I guess now you are in a new house in the mountains, as you said. You don't disturb or bother the neighbors with the sound of the drums or with the instrument, no?
They love it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I got some really good neighbors. I've always been lucky where having neighbors is concerned.
Okay.
I see you have an electronic kit behind you. I've
Yep.
never had to play one of those.
Well, it depends, but it's a good one for practicing. I mean,
I know.
it's
I want to
different.
get one for practice.
It's different, but if I could have in my flat an acoustic drums, I no doubt for me. I guess Diego thinks the same, that a real
Totally.
drums are better than the e drums. But this is amazing
Those are
for a
fun. Those
flat.
are fun though, and the way the bass drum work, you could do such fast stuff with the bass drums on those.
No, yeah.
Totally.
But it depends
Totally. It's like,
of the kit, because I bought this one, which is something like $700 or
Okay.
600 euros, and the difference between the previous one I had, which costs around 300 euros, the half of the price, is very huge. I mean, when I do just this, the rebound of the stick is amazing. So
Yeah.
it's a good way to practice. I
technology
recommend
is-
you.
The technology has gotten a lot better where electronic drums are.
Yeah.
The way they build them and
Totally.
stuff.
Totally. So you were talking about record. I wanted to go a bit back. Today I had a conversation with a colleague. I work at a record label, and the guy who's in charge of production, he's a huge fan of your band, like super huge fan. And he told me something that I had never thought of, but I wanted to know your opinion on. And he told me Exodus were the band who invented thrash metal. Do you think that is true or not?
I think we were one of the first bands doing it, but I think, a lot heavy metal. I mean, who invented thrash metal? You could say Motorhead was doing it before we were, and they're kind of thrashy. And I think we were definitely part of that group of bands that took like elements of hard rock, heavy metal, and punk rock and put them together. And we were definitely an originator of that. I think I'm not trying to like say we're the fucking pioneers.
No.
We're not ground zero for that, I don't think, but we're definitely part of the group that started doing that. And I think it was just a bunch of kids like learning how to play their instruments and definitely influenced by all these different kinds of music together, and that's what came out of it, thrash metal.
What led you there? What led you to I don't want to say like creating, because I think that maybe when you did it, you weren't conscious, or were you perhaps that you were creating a genre, but what led you to that terrain or that area?
I think we took things like Discharge and other punk bands. Well, Discharge is not really a punk band. They're kind of like Discharge is kind of like a breakthrough, different kind of band. Gary and I were very influenced by punk rock from his brother, so that's where the speed element came into like, let's take these heavy metal beats and speed them way the fuck up and see what happens, and let's write a riff that goes that fast too. And it just kind of like evolved, and people were like, wow, that's awesome, and other bands were doing it too. Metallica, we kind of came up at the same time, and they were writing fast shit, we were writing fast shit. Wasn't a lot of metal bands doing super fast stuff. Hair metal was still kind of like growing at that time too, so like there's a lot of those kind of bands, but we were different for sure. I can't really tell you what led to. I think the thing that led us there is what we were influenced by, for sure.
Yeah.
To answer your question properly, I think we were definitely, it was because of the influences and what we were trying to do as kids, learning how to play instruments, basically.
I've seen some posters of concerts from the beginning of the 80s, where I'm not quite sure, but I think Metallica was the supported band before the Exodus gig, if I'm not wrong. Or I don't know if Exodus was the supporting band or Metallica, but you were.
No, we always supported them. If you saw that flyer, it was probably because we made the flyer.
Oh, nice. And well, Kirk Hammett were playing with Exodus, and nowadays is playing for Meta. Well, he's playing for Metallica for a long time.
Yeah.
But for example, Kirk Hammett was involved in the GoFundMe campaign, which was made for helping you
Yes.
with your illness. Um, how
I'm
was for
very grateful.
you when you saw that mm, it it got more than $100,000 or something like that? I think.
I'm super grateful, man, and it helps me for sure. The It's crazy when this kind of thing happens to you. You know, I feel like there's angels out there walking around that help you. You know, when you they answer the call when you call. I'm grateful to Kirk and what he did for sure. I'm grateful to everybody. It's a pretty special community we're in. When people get sick, you know, Chuck Billy is also a cancer survivor, and he's been a really good friend and confidant to talk to me about, you know, not only, you know, fighting it physically and with medicine and things like that, but also your mind, you know, how to get your mind right in dealing with something like that, and you know, to keep you strong mentally, and you know, having the support of your community, money wise, and the all that emotion that people are sending your direction. It's definitely a powerful thing, and I'm grateful for all of it.
Oh, that's amazing. And um, during the apart from, for example, Kirk or Chuck, have you felt the heat or the people or your friends have been there?
Yeah, absolutely. um you know, the support has been overwhelming. Like it I don't even know I don't even know what to say, or how to say thank you. But the good news is I get to live, and you know, I'll do my best in my life to thank everybody because I am grateful for it, you know.
And and there in the United States, the the health is very expensive because I
It's
don't know
crazy.
if you know well, Spain is considered one of the best countries in terms of public health. I don't know if you know, but what I've heard about the United States is that it's very expensive there. How much costs a treatment like the treatment you did?
I don't even know the total of it yet because I haven't, you know, I'm still in the fight. So like, you know, I see they have the thing called co-pays over here, which are going to be very large for me. Um, so far they've been pretty damn large, but you know, I have medical insurance and I have it through Affordable Care Act, otherwise known as Obamacare, which you know, has definitely helped me
Yeah.
along with help from the public for sure. But yeah, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
You guys I mean, how does the European system work? Like
I
you
think
pay a certain amount of your percentile of your income, right?
I think that the Spanish one is different than the other countries in Europe. You know, maybe
Okay.
if you get ill in some of the other countries, is it's more expensive. But in Spain, if you are a Spanish citizen, it's easier to get a treatment, you know.
That's good.
Yep. But
Don't get sick.
but the bad thing about that is that sometimes it's very slow, that process, you know.
Uh-huh.
But well,
Yeah.
we can't. We are in general, we are happy with that, so we can't say anything bad about that. And well, as you can feel, Diego has not internet now. He has noticed me via WhatsApp, but I would like to continue talking about your drumming, your
Sure.
way of drum, because this show is about drumming. And well, first of all, when I've seen you playing drums, I felt that you are relaxed, but at the same time, you are like very soft. You know, I don't know how to say. Do you prepare your way of playing when you are playing live, or do you practice your live presence in the on the stage?
Yeah, and I think, I basically, when I'm at home getting ready for, it's 2 hours. 2 hours of drumming, back-to-back songs, not a lot of breaks. Have a little pre-hydration. Live is a different thing. Like if you're on tour, I try to stretch, do stretches, and go on stage relaxed, because I find that I hit harder towards the end of the show than at the beginning. And like usually people start out hard and they end softer. But I don't know, I try to pace myself and just breathe.
What I've seen too is that your way of playing is, I would say, old school. You know, when I've seen playing a lot of drummers, but it's your thrash metal style, playing very fast, and I'm very my my wrist is injured. But when you do your fills and that stuff, you are very rude. They are very powerful. Do you think that you could be considered that like old school drummer in that way?
Yes, definitely.
Because when I've seen videos on YouTube or whatever, or even in your concerts or in Exodus gigs, your way, what I feel is like you've been playing in the same way from the beginning until now.
Yeah, pretty much.
And
I think I was able to do it with more brutality when I was 26 as opposed to 56, but I do what I can.
how did you start playing drums?
I just love drums, and I love like listening to a lot of classic rock back in the day. And I was playing guitar at first, and then I've always wanted to play. I had always wanted to play drums, and I bought a drum set from my friend down the street, and kind of put the guitar away for a while. And here we are, 40 years later.
So, did you took any lessons or whatever, or just
Not
yourself
really.
trying new things?
Mostly just me and back then a record player and headphones.
Oh, and how did you? Well, thrash metal is a genre where you have to have a very powerful wrist and even the finger technique, because you have to play very fast with your right hand. Um, how did you improve your way of playing with your right hand?
Well, I'm a lefty drummer, so my
Oh,
right
well,
hand is the
yes.
snare.
Sorry, that's important. I had that question for later, but in your left hand. In my case, I'm right hand, so in your
That's
case,
okay.
left hand.
I don't know. It just, the music got faster and faster, and I had to keep up with it. There was no formula to exercise it to make it faster. And I don't use any finger technique. It's all like caveman style.
Oh, then so
It's all in the wrist.
you have to to end the concerts are very tired. If you play in
Yep.
that way, you have to sweat a lot and that kind of stuff.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, usually like if you're in tour mode, like the first couple shows, you're like, and then like you build up a kind of like a gig tour stamina,
Yeah.
and after a while, the shit's easy.
Yeah. And when you bought that first drum kit, was it prepared for a left-handed drummer like you, or what did you do?
No, in fact, I took drumming in school, and the drum set was set up right-handed,
Oh,
and I was no good right-handed, and I asked the teacher, "Can I turn it around?" And he finally said, "Okay, you could turn it around." And that's when I realized, hey, I'm a left. Not only, lots of drummers are left-handed, but I was also left-footed.
oh,
So like my main kick drum foot is my left. A lot of drummers that are left-handed, they play open style, but their main kick is still their right. So they're like, I call it goofy foot, like because it's not true lefty, but whatever works, man.
So and after the years, have you learned to play in a right-handed kit, or you will always left-handed?
I'm terrible.
Oh, damn! But you have
I can
to.
maybe like like nothing complicated for sure.
So you can get injury of your left hand in your case because
No.
you will fuck it up.
Yep.
Have you tested some e-drums? Just a test?
Only I've practiced on them, and we actually toured with Slayer. It was back when Gary did double duty. Like we opened, Suicidal played the middle, and Slayer headlined, and Gary did double duty.
Mm-hmm.
But Paul Bostaff had a set of those every night that he set up, and I practiced on his quite a bit. I liked them.
Did you like it?
Yeah, I liked them. They're cool. He had the Yamaha ones, and they were awesome, and they felt very responsive. I like the bounce back. The kick was a better bounce back than a real drum set, I think. So it was good to good to warm up and play on his.
Yeah, for me a part of the injury thing, the worst thing about this kit is that you can't control the volume of every tom, So here in this kit, the floor tom and the second tom sounds very high, very powerful. They sound amazing. But for example, the right bell, I can't really hear the right bell. I can't set the volume of the different elements, and that's a little bit the worst thing about that. But if you have, I guess if you had a more expensive kit, you can control everything and set a certain sound for every single piece of the drums. I guess. But this is like a medium, I would say medium e-drum, and it's fine. Okay. Diego is not ready, so we will continue.
You have an acoustic kit also?
Yep, I have I don't know if I'm quite sure that it's the same kit that AC/DC has, but without the sign of the drummer. So that made it cost much less money than the original one. It's
Sonar.
Sonar. It's an ordinary size. I think 22 kick, 16 floor tom, and 12, 14 toms here. I'm not sure. What I bought for myself is the cymbals, because for me it's the funniest thing for drums. The different sounds or the different colors you can get with different cymbals.
Yeah, for sure. And sometimes the most expensive cymbal doesn't sound as good as the one that's cheaper, you know?
Yeah, that's a thing.
Mino makes really nice chinas, but
Yep.
my favorite is one of their cheaper models, the MB8, and it's just like it's perfect for thrash metal because it gets in and gets out. It's like whoosh, you know.
Yeah, they had like a package of cymbals, which was something like very cheap. I mean,
Yeah.
something like 79 euros, which is something like $90.
Yeah.
And it was the package were 3 cymbals, 18 China,
Yeah.
a little maybe 8 or 10 China, and a splash, and it sounded amazing. And I was like, why 3 cymbals so cheap and with an amazing sound like this?
Well, they would break easy, but they figured out how to make them cheap and sound good, you know.
Yeah. Well,
And they're messing around. They're messing around with different alloys too. Like, you know, it's not like a, you know, it's not like a crazy handmade piece of Paiste brass, you know. So
have you had some signature cymbals like that one you said right now, like signature made in the house of the droves or something like that, something special?
no,
So
no, I never had that. I mean, I got some cymbals that are old. I have a set of hi-hats from the 80s, Zildjian rock hi-hats.
the same one.
And I have some Zildjian new beat hi-hats, and I have an old Paiste 2002 ride that I used for years. But I use Meinls right now, and I think they all make good stuff now, you know. Zildjian, Meinl, Paiste, they all make good shit. Some of those Turkish brand cymbals are amazing too. Like the ones they make in Turkey are just they're amazing.
Yeah. Which are your favorite cymbals when you're playing the sound?
Right now I'm using Meinl. I got an MB20 Crash, which is now kind of a Byzance series. I have a Byzance ride that I'm loving, and I have some Byzance hi-hats that are great. And I have some 13-inch Soundcasters over here that sound great. Yeah, I like cymbals that kind of don't step on the other instruments and kind of get in and make a quick appearance and get out, you know?
So for details like stacks or splashes or something like that.
For my splash, I use a MB20 Rock Splash, Mino, and crashes. I like some of the cheaper versions, like the classics. The classic Minos are great. The MB10s are great. I don't know if they even make an MB10 anymore. But I have some. I have a couple that I use, and I use the classics, and I use the MB20s, and I use the Byzance. The Byzance are really deep. They like whoosh, and they keep on going.
Yeah.
You know, which isn't always. It's okay to record that way with those, but I think for live, you want something that goes, you know, kind of gets in and takes it, gets in, and gets back out. So
do you change your, for example, with the last record, Persona Non Grata, have you changed your cymbals with the live cymbals for a different sound, or they are the same?
Yeah, I mean, basically the same ride, same China, same hi-hats. The crashes I'll alternate with and just, you know, mess around with and see which combination I like the best. You know, it's not the end of the world if a cymbal sounds different than another one, it still sounds great, you know.
Yeah. And when you started playing drums, which drummers were your favorite or your bigger influences?
Back then I had a lot of favorites. Tommy Aldridge for sure was definitely an influence. There was a guy that played with Heart. His name was Michael DeRozier, great drummer in the early days of Heart. Clive Burr. Clive Burr, definitely. John Bonham, you know, all the classics. Keith Moon for sure was definitely a good influence on me as a young guy. You know, Neil Peart, of course.
Yeah, the classics.
All of them.
And after that, when
Denny Carmassi was another great drummer from back then.
Hmm.
Still is.
And after that, when you were playing with Exodus and all that stuff, did you add more drummers to your favorite drummers? Because maybe you were friend of some of them, you know?
Yeah, oh, for sure. Like, you know, I think Lars and me definitely learned from each other quite a few things. And, you know, Dave Lombardo, definitely we toured a lot together. So we definitely, you know, influenced on each other.
And
It was fun. Those days were fun. Like the formative years of like learning how to play your instrument, you know?
yeah. And when people talks bullshit about Lars, because
Yeah.
if you see a video or if you watch a video of Lars Ulrich playing, for example, in Seattle in that concert in the 99 in the 89, and you see and you watch a play nowadays of Lars playing, a lot of people is talking bullshit about him. What do you think about his way of playing? Because it's one of the most famous, because he plays now the songs in a very different way that they were recorded.
I think he does quite a few drum rolls now. It seems like he does a lot of drum rolls in the middle of the song. But how I feel about Lars is like, for anybody to pick on Lars is stupid, because you look at the man's body of work, and you know, Master of Puppets is a fucking groundbreaking album, and the drumming is great on it.
Yeah, or
the drumming on
Justice for All.
Blackened.
It's the more complicated. I have a tattoo of that album here. So one is my favorite song ever.
Yeah, I mean that you're right. Yeah, that album is great too. Harvester of Sorrow, fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. And I think, you know, where Lars is concerned now, he was groundbreaking. And he kind of kicked the door in for all of us, like doing this, you know? I think his body of work speaks for itself. So whenever anybody talks shit about Lars, I got his back 100%.
Yeah. So do you think that he could play now if he wanted to, like in the 80s, for example?
I don't think any of us could. At least people that are our age. I mean, look how many shows the guy's played in his life, like hundreds, maybe over 1,000, you know? Probably over 1,000, definitely. That has wear and tear on your body.
Yeah, but for example,
You know?
when you see a drummer like, for example, Mike Portnoy, which is playing with several bands. I don't know how many bands is playing for Mike right now, but he is still playing in a very good way, you know. So
Yeah.
that's what make that thing special about in this example Lars, because some drummers like Mike are playing more or less the same stuff, or he's not playing with Dream Theater, but he's playing with different progressive bands or even hard rock bands, or he was playing with Avenged Sevenfold, which is metalcore, I don't know how to say. But it's quite different, and that difference between the previous level and the current level, you know.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You're right. You're totally right. You know, and I think as we get older and like time goes on, we have to like evolve our techniques too. Like, I definitely don't come out, you know, like a horse race out of the gate, like with too much aggression. I like to ease into the music, and then maybe by the end of the set, I'm like, you know. but you have to pace yourself. And you know, I've seen Lars play recently live. He does a lot of drum rolls, and he got rid of his ride cymbal, which I don't understand. Like, having a China is great. Like,
Yeah.
two of them is even better. But why do you replace your ride cymbal with a China? I don't understand that. That's a good question. Somebody should ask him that in an interview. Why'd you change your China? Trade your ride in for a China?
Lars, if
Because
you are listening us, you know.
he used to use the ride nicely too. Like, you
Yeah.
know, not a lot of thrash drummers use the ride a lot. They use the hi-hats mostly, and he did some great fucking ride work. I got a question for you.
For me.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Which Iron Maiden do you prefer, Nico or Clive Burr?
I mean, I've seen playing Nico live,
Yeah.
but when I heard the pieces of the songs played by Cliff, I think they are for me they are better, but maybe for another drummer, Nico's writings are better, you know. But I prefer Cliff.
I do too. But I understand why people love Nico, and I love Nico. I've been listening to Nico McBrain since he played with the Pat Travers Band in 1978. And he's amazing. He's very colorful, but there's something about the Clive drive, the way he pushed the songs forward and like almost doing like super fast like disco beats, like you know.
Yeah.
I loved him. I was so sad when they kicked him out of the band. I mean, not that Nico's bad. I love Nico, but I don't know. I like Clive.
Me too.
I like the drum sound too. Was better too, I think.
Me too. And
Nico's
now,
very colorful.
and now a question for you in that way. Which one do you prefer, Dave or Paul in Slayer?
Ooh, that's tough.
That's tough.
I think they both did an amazing body of work with Slayer. Me personally, Dave has a different swing live. It's a little bit like Paul is a very disciplined drummer. And you know, I have to play Paul's shit sometimes with Exodus. His drumming on Death Amphetamine it's really hard. I can't do it all. I kind of add my own shit to it. Paul's an amazing drummer, very disciplined. I think I like the danger of Dave's drumming.
Me too. Absolutely the same. Absolutely.
It's got a swing, and it's kind of like it's on the edge of almost being sloppy, but it's tight as fuck, you know?
Yeah, absolutely the same. I think absolutely the same as you about that. Paul is an amazing drummer, but Dave serves an energy which is different, you know?
The drumming on God Hates Us All is fucking awesome, you know? Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I think the body of work that Paul made with Slayer is amazing. They definitely, all the songs that I've seen Dave play that Paul played on sound different, and all of the stuff that Paul plays that Dave played on definitely sounds different. Like, they weren't able to copy each other with you know, a ton of success. But yeah, Dave's drumming is just, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like and Dave's left-handed. Like,
really?
he leads into drum rolls with his right hand. He leads with his left hand. So like, picture this, like he's going around the kit in a right-handed way.
I didn't know.
He has to get his left hand onto that drum before his right. Like, I'm left-handed. I lead with my left, and I lead into all these drum rolls going this direction. Dave leads with this hand going the other direction, which makes it even fucking harder.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
yeah, he's a great drummer, and I love his swing. They're both awesome. You know,
I wouldn't think about Dave is left-handed ever. because he's playing with a natural way that I
Yeah.
couldn't feel that he's left-handed. But I will check now. I will watch some videos about
I'm pretty sure he leads into the rolls. Like when I sat behind him a couple times, he was leading into rolls with his left hands, and it might have just been the style of roll. But he's another one that, like, you know, he's playing a lot of different kinds of music now, and it's awesome to see. You know, it's awesome to see him jump from band to band. He kicks ass with it, whatever he's doing. You know.
Yes.
He's a natural.
Yes.
Like some of us have to warm up before we play. Like I've seen Dave like take a big bite of cake and like chocolate cake all over his face. And, all right, let's go play a show. You know.
Oh, damn. And when you have been on tour and maybe you couldn't brought your own stuff or your own drum kit, have you had some problems when you had to share drums? For example, it used to happen in some festivals when you have to share some of the stuff in the stage. Maybe in the beginnings because you're now one of the biggest thrash metal bands in the world, but maybe in the
Thanks.
beginnings, did you have some problems in that terms?
You mean like festival kits and things like that, like being left-handed?
Yeah, just for being left-handed.
Yeah, we've had crazy drum sets all over the world. Like I played one in Brazil that had like a 126, 122, and then like 6, 8, 10, 14
What?
was the rack size. You know, and a 6 is like that big. Then you put a microphone on it, and it actually becomes a 5. You know,
Yeah.
because you can't hit where the microphone is. Actually, on this last recording we did, I switched my tom setup. Usually I use 10, 12, 13, 16, 18. This time I went 12, 13, 14, 18, 16. Gives you a bigger target to hit.
Why did you use a bigger kit?
I just wanted to hear larger drums, like booming.
Boom.
And it worked.
Yeah, in a deep way, maybe the sound of the toms.
Yeah, I tuned them like kind of the same, but definitely more boom.
Yeah. Yeah, I get. And you said before that you can't play like 30 or 40 years ago, but I've been listening to the album, and the first song, Persona non grata, is a very fast and difficult song. And even it's very long because it's something like 6 minutes or something like that.
It's crazy. That's one. You blame Gary Holt for that, for the length of that song.
So you have to be in a good way, in a good physical way for the shows if you want to play a set list with the new songs.
Definitely got to prepare. And I take that pretty seriously. So like, whenever I rehearse, I always do the songs that are long. Like even from Exhibit A and B, we have the albums we did with Rob Dukes. We have some really long songs. And when I'm doing an Exodus drum workout, I play a lot of those, you know?
Yeah.
Blood In, Blood Out has some long songs, and some fast stuff, but I like to practice songs that are kind of a journey with different types of beats and things like that.
Yeah. And when you are in your house playing, I guess you play Exodus songs, but do you used to play songs from another band?
Yeah.
Which,
you know what I've been messing with lately?
What?
It's a band. These two flamenco guitarists
really?
play for this band called Del Castillo.
Del Castillo.
Del Castillo. Check it out. They're Willie Nelson, the country guy. That's one of his favorite bands. The drums are amazing, and the vocals are amazing. The guitars are amazing. They're from Austin, Texas. I've been messing around with that. I mess around, a few little Brazilian rhythms here and there. I try anyway. Being basically, I'm a rock drummer that plays thrash metal, but I'm trying to like, branch out and play other stuff too. So
you like to play when you're not playing metal or thrash metal, you like to play maybe another kind of genres of music.
I would love to be in a funk band.
A funk. Oh.
Yeah. Just like, like the Ohio Players or the Commodores or something like that. Earth, Wind and Fire.
So and do you know, or what are your favorite drummers in another genres? Not in metal, like you said before, but
Prince.
which one would be your favorite drummers right now?
Right now, shit, that's hard to say, man. I think, Phil Rudd's one of my favorite drummers.
Mm-hmm.
So is Clyde Burr. So is the guy that played for Limbo Maniacs, local band here. Denny Carmassi, he's just a good old rock drummer, played with Montrose and Gamma and Heart. There's a lot of them. Too many to name.
If you want a recommendation of maybe the youngest drummers who are now very popular via social media or because they are very amazing, I recommend you Ari Kimprota, which is playing for a band called Fever 333, and now he is playing with Korn because Rai is with COVID. So you have to check him out. Ari Kimprota, he's doing like backflips when he's playing. It's totally amazing. So you have to check him out. We have a guy here in Spain, which is being very popular the last year, which is called El Estepario Siberiano. If you look for him on YouTube or Instagram or whatever, you can find it very easy. And he's a monster. When another drummers are talking about him, they define Jorge, which is his real name, as a monster. And well, Eloy Casagrande from Sepultura, I don't know if you know him.
Oh yeah,
it's another monster.
Oh my God, he's insane. Like no drum head is safe when he's hitting it.
Yeah, we talked with him for another podcast of A Golpes, and he told us that he breaks a lot of stuff.
He does.
Because
cymbals.
Yeah, we asked.
I remember we toured with Sepultura a couple times, and there was always new packages of cymbals being sent on tour, to the point where Peisty Cymbals, I think, told him, "Hey man, you got to take it easy on these cymbals because we can't keep sending you replacements." And
we asked him if the brands, for example, the cymbal brands, or well, his endorsements, if he were concerned about how many pieces of cymbals or sticks or drum heads or whatever he breaks in a year, because the endorsements have to be written just with him.
Absolutely.
And,
he's an animal.
Yeah, absolutely. And the last recommendation I would say is, well, Diego, when he was here, mentioned him, but Mario Duplantier from Gojira is totally amazing too. It's another kind of playing, but it's for me it's amazing. I enjoy a lot when I see him playing drums.
That's awesome.
So well, the last things of the interview are about, and the last questions are about like the last thing I've said about Eloy Casagrande is like, for example, if you had to choose, would you choose if you are playing in a show that you will choose that your snare breaks or your kick breaks?
Ooh, I've had both of those things happen. I would say, now wait a minute. There's a variable here. Do I only have one bass drum or do I have two?
Mm, well, you have two, but you only have one pedal.
Oh, okay. So I have one bass drum.
Like for example, Slipknot, when Joey Jordison, rest in peace, played, he had two bass drums, but just one double pedal. You know,
One double pedal.
so you just have one double pedal.
One double pedal. So like, that's not going to do me any good if the bass drum breaks. I think I would rather have the snare break because at least I can keep the beat with the tom toms.
Yeah.
You know, until it gets repaired. And I've done that. I've had both scenarios happen, but I have two kicks. So.
And how did you react when that happened?
Well, I mean, it's happened a lot in my years doing this, but I think just don't panic. Just do what you can to transfer to the next drum and keep the beat till the end of the song, and then fix the shit. You know.
Yeah. I guess.
and try to. And sometimes you got to be creative and just do what you can. You know.
Yes. And if you have to choose again, do you prefer more cymbals or more toms?
Probably cymbals.
Why?
Probably cymbals. Yeah, because I have. Let's see, if the hi-hats count as cymbals too, right? 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I only have 7. I got an even amount. I have 7 cymbals, and 1, 2, 3. I have more drums than cymbals actually.
So
I have more drum. I have 8 cymbals and I have 8 drums and 7 cymbals, counting the hi-hat.
If you have to choose between a kid with this snare and a floor tom and, for example, 8 cymbals, or a kid with, for example, 8 toms and just 3 cymbals, which one will you choose?
I'd probably pick the one with less cymbals.
Yeah.
Yeah, more drums.
Oh, you're the first one that answer in that way.
Do I get to have a set of hi-hats and 3 cymbals, or just
hi-hat? The hi-hat, ride, and crash.
And 2 crash?
No, 1.
I could work. I could work with that, I think.
Okay, you're the first one who choose more toms than cymbals. So I will check. And do you prefer heavy sticks or maybe light sticks?
No, I like medium. I'm 5A.
Okay. Ordinary sticks.
Yeah.
And the last one, do you prefer festivals or venues or clubs?
They're both awesome. Like festivals, you know, we play both. So like if we're on a European tour, like Thursday through Sunday, we'll try to play festivals, and then Monday through Thursday we're playing in clubs. And now there's COVID, so we have to be careful about that. But you know, in the days before COVID, I think there's an electricity that's in a small show that you don't have at the big shows. It's more intimate. You know, people are in your face. They're like, ah, and they're in a club, so they love your band. They didn't just go to a festival to see, you know, 26 different bands. They came to see
a big headliner.
Yeah, they came to see your band play.
Yeah.
So they're usually the more crazy, fanatical shows, I think. I like them both, though. You know, if I walk out on stage and there's 20,000 people, you definitely feel like a rock star that day. And, you know, and if you walk into a club that holds 400 and there's 400 there, it's sold out and it's hot and it's sweaty and it's electric, you know?
Yeah.
And it's amazing.
Yes. It
so
is.
Both.
So, well, do you have a final message for your Spanish fans?
We love to come to Spain. I think some of the best food in the world is in Barcelona.
Yeah, I'm here.
Dude, you guys, yeah. the best lunch I've ever had was in 2020 March there.
Really?
Yeah, me and Gary just a simple plate of mussels, but prepared perfectly with a white wine sauce.
Actually, I was there in Razmataz because I was doing an interview with Testament with Alex. We were doing some interviews, so we were together, but we didn't know each other.
Okay.
But it was a very good show, so congratulations. It was one of the last shows before the pandemic started.
COVID was following us around.
You had to cancel before the cancellation of the tour. You had to cancel first Italy, if I'm not wrong.
Yep, we canceled Italy and went on to Spain, and we were like, "Yay, day off in Barcelona!"
Yeah, I remember.
And then the next thing you know, coronavirus hits Barcelona, like bam, and then we got home and the world shut down.
Yeah, what a pity.
But we'll get back. We'll get back to it.
We hope, and we hope to see you playing live in a real concert, which is something that seems to be very far, but we hope that it comes very soon. And well,
me too.
Thank you for your time, Tom. It's been a pleasure, and
my pleasure.
And see you as soon as possible here in Spain or wherever.
All right, brother. Be safe.
So, you too.
Wonderful talking to you. Cheers.